So I want to thank you guys all for coming out. This is great. I know there are a lot of things in this town that go on. I just moved here recently, and I'm constantly frazzled by where to go. So thank you for coming here. If you like coming here, you should buy books from here. And if you like what you hear here, you should buy books from the folks who have books who are reading them. All right. But yeah, thanks everyone, and thanks Malvern as always for letting me work here and letting me host this and all that good stuff. All right. Our next reader, Nick Courtright, was there among Steve Aoki and his 836 fans to set the record for the biggest group of people lighting a glow stick simultaneously. After he returned from Los Angeles, he published his second book, Let There Be Light, out now from Goldwake Press and available right back there. His first book, Punchline, which I think is also available right back there, was a National Poetry Series finalist. In Austin, Texas now, he teaches writing and literature at Concordia and ACC, but he'll never forget November 15, 2013, and all those glow sticks around him. Folks, Nick Courtright.
How's it going? Going? All right? All right, you guys surviving? Surviving your night of poems? Okay. So this first one I'm going to read is called Tyrannosaurus. The thing that is interesting about this one is a lot of my stuff typically isn't very personally inspired, but this poem was actually inspired by the time a few years back in which I had to go have Thanksgiving at my future in-laws' house right after I had impregnated their daughter out of wedlock. So it was the best Thanksgiving ever. Super full of fun and incredible awkwardness. So this poem is sort of obliquely touching on that, sort of a desire to figure that situation out. So thank you. Tyrannosaurus. The caves in which we live our days are not real, but the bear inside them is. That's what is real, the bear. To believe this is to pull out the tablecloth from under Thanksgiving dinner and say, ta-da! Maybe the food is on the floor, maybe it's all ruined, maybe you did that on purpose, sprung the birds from their cages to watch them fly around the dining room, their little beaks like darts. Or maybe you say, ta-da, and everything on the table is still. Everyone is astonished by your charm and the quickness of your hands. Lift them in the air and pat yourself on the back for years. Your bear could be erased, but it's too much to believe you won't last forever, or that you will. See, you can't trust the cave. Now, play dead. Then they won't see you. They can't see you if you aren't moving. But we aren't all dinosaurs. Lost on the planet Earth. When we go missing, we can blame the search team, the rescue squad, the fleet of helicopters competing with the calls of wild birds. We can blame the earthworms moving the land beneath us, the day both too long and not long enough, and the fact that in these new bodies, we have only so much time. We can fault the immensity of the galaxy, the smallness of the human soul, the clouds which have their way with the light of the sun as it is brought across the backs of whales, or harpooned across the face of the empty moon, deep in the black soup of night. When we go missing, we can heave our blame into the wind of our grandparents' grief and love, which mirrored the unspeakable desire of the first two cells who came together in the petri dish of an early ocean. We could even blame America, the outspoken, and the rich. Or we could take credit for our missing, for how we wandered from where we were born. that the maps we chose were outdated, all the roads long gone or curiously mismarked, that each step we took into the plain or into the plan was in fact into the forest, where what was watching us was watching itself. And maybe when we are finally found, our finders too will have become lost and will have discovered not only us, but themselves. So this book, sort of the structure of it, it's called Let There Be Light. You know, I coined that phrase, obviously. But it takes the sort of like Genesis 1 and beginning of Genesis 2 creation account, like the first 7 days, and kind of like winds them memento-like backwards, starting at day 7, and working back to day 1, and then it's like, oh no, what now? But day 6, for those of you guys who don't know, that's the day in which like human beings were sort of brought forth into this situation. So this poem, called Parable, is the first poem of the section about the advent of human beings. So, of course, it involves a deal with the devil. Once upon a time, there was a rich man who sat down for a meal with the devil. They ate lamb and drank wine and ignored such things attended cries. The rich man wanted more. That is why he was with the devil. People do not invite the devil to dinner unless they want. That is the way of such negotiations. So the rich man says, I want 3 wishes. And the devil says, who am I? I'm no genie. You get 1 request, so make it good. The rich man takes another sip of wine. Then I wish for an immortal life with endless material bounty. The devil takes another bite of meat. That's 2 wishes. But how about this? I grant your wishes so long as you accept 1 condition. Yes then, says the rich man. I assumed you would agree, and that is good. Here's what I want from you. You will have all that you desire, an immortal life of incalculable wealth, but you forever after have a small, sharp rock in your shoe. And so it was. Now, imagine that man with his endless life and goods, and with the rock in his shoe. Got that? Now, imagine the life of the rock. Meditation on the bear finding himself. I do not know what to make of the bear who eats and does not watch the night fall into its curtains. He may or may not be snow as it breaks beneath his feet, or the feet themselves. Certainly, he is the branches which moan in the wind. Listen, they have stories to tell, but if no one is there to hear them. We don't have to be carried away by our ships and our trains. They are seams in the dress named landscape, or they are wounds which cannot heal. Once upon a time, the monster of Frankenstein could have wandered here. It's not in the book or in the movies, but he and the bear crossed paths like 2 ships. How often did the bear growl or roar? In dreams, as often as he remembers his mother. Now imagine him in his crib as he is a cub. Imagine him near the river as he kills what he can. Imagine him eyeing his claws, wondering, what have I done? I have done this, he could say. I have provided this meal. So, I have chickens, pet chickens. Anybody else in here have chickens? One, yeah. Like, come on, people, get on board. It's like an animal that makes food. Okay, like what could be better than that? And if you're like so inclined, you can slaughter it, but that's going a little far for most. So this whole entire thing with chickens is that we've got them, and you know they've had a variety of names. You know, we had Cluck Norris, of course. Obviously, we had one named Charles Chickens, the author of Great Expectations. You know, clearly. You know, we've had all sorts of interesting ones, but we had this one named Betty White, who was fantastic, but she was savagely eviscerated by a raccoon. I know, tragic, right? You didn't see that coming. And this poem is for her. A deep, dark wood. All the raccoon thinks are raccoon thoughts, and all the chicken thinks are chicken thoughts. When they think of the thoughts of the other, all they imagine is hunger. When they think of the thoughts of human beings, all they imagine is hunger. Raccoons and chickens are very wise, much wiser than teachers who make nets from ideas they've stolen from history. All we eat is grace. And the only way to feel better about the death of a tomato is that one day a tomato will feast upon our bones. For a long time, these notions will seem like ideas. They will be trivia suitable for a game show or a night in the parlor with your in-laws. The truth is, it is up to you to love who you are. When this and all stumbling in the gray forest become more than ideas, then you are ready. So I have one last poem, but before I read it, I definitely wanted to throw out a huge thanks to, Malvern for putting this together. So can we get some applause? Also, of course, for Trey and Thomas, the other readers, because they kick ass. And then, of course, for Joe, wherever he is, the owner of this establishment, he is a badass. I don't know where he is. And also for the sleeveless wonder, Tyler Goblin himself. So let's hook them up. And I hope you guys buy some books, because places like this need to be supported. I don't feel the need to buy mine, because there are plenty of other options. But if you want to buy mine, that's fine too. So this last poem is pretty damn intense, so I'm probably going to pass out from reading it. So just be, like call an ambulance. It's called The Gun. Soul may be the most damaged word. To watch the tree bloom and return to earth, a sense of humor, the scent of ash, and the sobbing of wolves. Flower petals stand on end and seem to gallop in the wind. They cross the sidewalk, they cross the long grasses and fallow plains. They fold into the evening to smell the carbon from which we all are made. I'm sorry if my hands are a little cold. I'm sorry if this is the way of the world. You have very shiny eyes, it's true. They are like 2 dimes under the sun. Carbon, we can tell the ages of fossils and moons by it, and of our hands, but not of our thoughts. We did not need water. We did not need water. We were water, and though fate is a star you cannot place on your astronomical charts, it burns brightly. It has lived billions of years and has billions left to live. Eventually, you can learn its secrets, which of its chemicals commingle at the ball, draped in fine fabrics and jewelry and all the propriety of science. And that learning will, like carbon, like water, become need. Go on ahead of me. Let the sand go on for miles. It'll always be a beach, even 1 gram. Go on complaining against the automobiles. We are each the street taking care of its family. We are asphalt. In the summer, a child will wonder why our surface appears watery, though it is not. To think a miracle in the real world. The miracle is the time before and after the miracle. So let's not worry about forever. That's a long time from now. So, a black fog you run through. A black fog you run through and run through, past the church, past the post office, past convenience store and firehouse, past the cemetery, down the winding road, through the hairpin turn, past the pale trailers whose tire swings cradle boys, yet to know girls, past the anonymous houses, brick houses and mobile homes and houses on stilts, until you see the schoolyard, you see the openness that is the way to the big river, you see the steel mill with its blood orange metal, you know you can enter the highway and continue running past the burnt out hole of the city, past the paper factory, now only an idea, removed like ambition, save for its single smokestack and the stories about it, and the river, along the river, the original thoughts from the very beginning, when shouting and listening were different only to those far away. You can follow the route of all heroes to a new home. You can smash a spider with a shoe, or make the tender deadbolt align ecstatically. You can do this and say, there is no need for fear. In the purple of the night, when a man outside, nearby, cocks a gun. Thank you.